Have you ever woken up late for school and wished you had more time to get ready? Have you ever woken up early for school and wished you had more time to get ready? Do you ever feel slow, groggy, and very tired in the morning? Do you ever feel like you're not all there for those morning classes? Well, it's probably because you're not. On average, teenage brains take about 2 hours more than adults do to be fully awake. Teenage brains are fully awake between the hours of 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., napped in 2014. You can draw the conclusions that schools that start at 7 o'clock have a response lag for morning classes. If school started at a later time, their academics, behavioral attitudes, and attendance records would improve greatly. Like our bones and muscles, our brains rejuvenate themselves while we are sleeping. Teenagers, in fact, need more sleep than children and adults, as said by the National Institute of Mental Health in 2020. Mental illness and stress levels skyrocket during adolescence. And since teenagers are still developing in their brains, more sleep will help compensate with that, and it's also a healthier option than any other thing. The Adolescent Sleep Working Group has received patterns of sleep deprivation among teens, more in 2020. What the Adolescent Sleep Working Group does is they take ages from 5 to 18 and they test their brain activity while they're sleeping, before they're sleeping, and when they wake up. And they've noticed in ages between 13 to 18 that they have averaged out more signs of sleep deprivation than any other age. Even adding just 30 minutes of extra sleep every night can help improve school. In 2018, Seattle Public Schools started schools later, and the results showed that their students were more focused, better engaged, and in check. Washington 2018. So what they meant by in check is that they didn't have any issues, no talking back, and things like that. Lack of sleep creates a dependency on caffeinated substances like our energy, Monsters, energy drinks, Red Bull, and coffee, of course. In order to keep teenagers off of caffeine, we need to start school at a time that is reasonable for them. Starting school at 10 a.m. or even 9 a.m. would be very beneficial to school's progress reports. At the beginning of this past school year, I started school in South Carolina. And in South Carolina, they had this thing called Early Arrival Fridays, which is every Friday we would arrive an hour later than we usually would. And schools over there started pretty late to begin with. They started at 8:30, which is late for me right now because right now my school starts at 7:45, 7:50. So it was about a good 15-30 minutes more that I could sleep in. And so when I asked the teacher, one of my teachers, why they did that, she said that because when they started doing it, they noticed that their attendance record was becoming more and more better because more kids would show up on Fridays than any other day of the week. And that she personally would do her tests on Fridays because it was a much better headspace, everybody was more awake and engaged, and overall they would do better on their tests than they would on any other day of the week. And she said that she wishes they could do late arrival Fridays every day. And she said that it also helped with planning in general because they would have meetings for them and get together with their subject teachers and talk about and plan. And she said that it was just very beneficial in general to the teachers and to the students. So with the extra hours of sleep, students wouldn't need to depend on caffeine anymore and would stay better engaged throughout the entire school day. The cons of starting school at a later time are blown out of the water by the positives. Getting more sleep for our developing brain is crucial. Getting adequate amounts of sleep is extremely beneficial for multiple problems, These problems for schools include behavioral problems such as fights or talking back, and attendance, showing up on time, and just academics overall with grades and better test scores. Making schools a custom for teenage brains will improve grades and attendance. And that also goes in and ties in with having a better headspace, because I noticed on the Fridays I would wake up in a better mood because I got that extra hour, that extra 30 minutes of sleep. And I would go to school and I'd be much more positive throughout the day than I would be any other day of the week. And I think that was a key factor of just starting school later, knowing I had time and never felt rushed in the morning on Fridays. We should start making schools for teenage brain patterns to get the best results out of our teenagers.